Enjoy, Quinn.
Hey Leon.
How are you two? Good to see you.
Pretty good.
We're Movie Juice. We're presenting Daniel Toon's film MALLS tonight. At the heart of Daniel Toon's MALLS is not an idea, but a feeling. It is a feeling that will be familiar to anyone who has found themselves hungry, horny, or otherwise spiritually waylaid in a central business district. A sense of quiet desperation, of yearning, the fear that love is not enough, but that it's all we have. Many films seek to diagnose, or more hopefully, remedy this feeling. But one has to wonder, how can they, when it's from this very feeling that the films are born? And how can a film reflect reality, or indeed provide escape from it, when reality itself is so corrupted by the artificial? I believe that despite this fundamental problem, movies may offer the answer. To paraphrase David Berman, there are no new ways to understand the world, only new cinema to set our understanding against. A mall is not unlike a movie. These are places where we can bathe in images, in perfect promises and imaginary ideals.
Well, I just also wanted to acknowledge that we are gathering here today on occupied Kaurna land. I extend my respect to any Kaurna elders past and present, as well as any Indigenous people who might be in the audience tonight. Sovereignty was never ceded. I think this film, if nothing else, offers fairly conclusive evidence that the colonial project is an entirely disgusting and amoral enterprise, one that has tried to but never quite succeeded in replacing the world's oldest continuous culture with the ugliest buildings in the world and an economic system that will probably produce its own apocalypse in less than 350 years. I'd like to also express my solidarity with Indigenous people across the world currently surviving and resisting ongoing occupation and exploitation. Just some quick thank yous. Thank you to Shay Gallagher, Nick Godfrey, Bill Masulis, and Jodie Pollock for moral support and feedback during and after the film's production. Thank you to our man in Chicago, Josh Bullman, for designing the poster. Thank you to Claire for not breaking up with me when she saw this movie. Thank you to Christian and Idris for printing assistance. Thank you to everyone who's contributed to the zine. Thank you to my parents for encouraging me to see film as something worth taking seriously, and my apologies, this is where that has led. Thank you to the bands who are going to be amazing. Thank you to Chris Kemzinski, Ferris Antoon, Scott Mazinski, Bob Iger, and Deanne DeMonks for their generous financial support. And thank you most of all to Gabe and Emily, not only for their generosity with their time and effort in making both this film and Movie Juice Matters at large, but also for being the best friends a fucked up movie freak could ask for. I love you both. I don't have much to say about the film, except that if you like it, I hope that you remember and you will not forget that it was made by three weirdos with no money. You could probably make something just as good with the same resources. I also think if you hate it, I hope that you remember that it was made by three weirdos with no money. And you could probably make something better with the same resources. Either way, I hope you make something. Enjoy the movie. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah!
Great, how you feeling, Gabe?
Ecstatic.
Amazing.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Gosh, where to begin? Daniel, this is, I described it before as a labor of love for you. Would you describe that as
Well, it was
accurate?
Yeah.
That's an accurate description.
It was a labour of fun. You know? Just fun with the gang. Just got to do something. May as well make a movie.
Just for people who haven't been following this sort of journey of this film, it's very tied into a lot of your concerns, I guess. And like, I don't want to ask you to explain away the film, or we don't need to dissect.
It's pretty direct.
It's pretty direct. But I can't help notice that you're making some points in there. I feel like about a couple of things.
Maybe. Who's to say?
Yeah, I guess I'm curious about walking that line as a filmmaker, because you make a film and You want people to just watch it, right? But you want to impart something as a director. And I guess this is your first film, and that's correct. And so,
That's correct.
how did you find making your first film sort of the mix of A, finding your voice or putting across your voice and what you want to say, and B, just making sure people can get something themselves out of it, because you're a big believer in the personal response, the death of the author.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm very pleased that people were laughing. That was really nice. I really had no idea why I was making it for a long time, of if it was anything and if I was saying anything. I think in retrospect that maybe shows how stupid I am, because it's not exactly the most subtle film in the world. I think it's getting across almost in a juvenile way, you could say. He's eating a hot dog. No, I think it's good. I'm glad. I'm proud of it. Sorry, what was the question? How do I get my points across?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think, it was sort of it was made very instinctually. I think there are choices in there that I understand emotionally, but I don't think I could verbalize why I did them, like the stuff with Emily in bed. I don't know why I did the color filter change, but I like it, and I think it communicates something about that feeling, or if you have ever experienced it. But I don't know. I think I'm glad it's given me a lot of confidence that people have seemed to respond to the film in such a way as that at least that it communicates something. So I don't know. I think it's coming. Yeah, it's a lot. It's funny because I also write about film, but just on fucking Letterboxd or whatever. But it's funny writing about film versus making it. How much you realize that film criticism is such a crock of shit, because it's you realize how and also when you get to talking to a lot of filmmakers, and how a lot of the things that you think are very worked out and you ascribe a very kind of concrete meaning to become in the eyes of their author are not at all that concrete. And I think I felt that much more directly in making the film.
What was it like working with Gabe and Emily?
I love them.
Watching the film, I found I was viewing Adelaide as a lot uglier and bleaker than what I think I normally do. I'm just interested, for all three of you, is that how you view Adelaide, or did your perception of Adelaide change throughout the filming and the editing and the whatever?
Yeah, we all love Adelaide, right?
Best city in the world.
Yeah.
Give it up for Adelaide.
I think that it's a sweet message about Adelaide, but it's about all cityscapes, really.
Sorry. I think it's sort of how I viewed Adelaide. I think I've become a bit less depressive since I made this film, I'll say. It was kind of finished midway through last year, and it's been sitting on ice until this opportune moment. I think definitely I find it to be in a lot of ways a very bleak place, but also you go anywhere else and you realize it's not so bad. So, it's I think the qualities about it I find awful. I think I play the qualities that are inherent just in in cityscapes under capitalism, or probably under anything, I don't know. But no, I love Adelaide. I think it's great.
I would say, because I guess the movie you could think it's about all kinds of things, but I would say that maybe in my heart, when I've been thinking about making the movie, and Daniel's brought up in the credits David Berman and Thomas Pynchon as well, and I've been thinking about what the movie means to me, and I guess reflecting on making the movie, and I think about two quotes by Pynchon and Berman, and David Berman was talking about something once, and he said, "If not a still life, then a slow one." Then, and Thomas Pynchon was talking in his introduction to short stories. He said, the interesting thing about young people is it's not the photograph but the movie, the soul in flux." And so I think of that as kind of a dialectic of the two of them there, and thinking well, that's kind of what I think of, those two things, and what does that make me think of? and maybe the idea that, you know, the city is, when I first started going there as a teenager, was like so exciting, because it was like, oh my god, what's this? What's this? What's the museum? Rocks. Oh, what's this? Whoa. Whoa. They put chips in a burrito. Wow. It's like, it's crazy. And then slowly you kind of trade like excitement for like knowledge and comfort, and like, but there's something kind of sad about that as well. And as well, maybe that's that thing of like, oh, I've kind of done everything. But then there are these moments where you're going through like a passage on Rundle Mall and you're like, what the hell is this? Has this always been here? So I kind of think about that.
There are mysteries yet.
Yeah, I was lost, my lies were approaching perfection. Slowly screwing my way across Europe, and they had to make a correction. Broken and smoking where the infrared dip and the digital sang. I shake hands when they make your hand shake. I know you like to line dance. Everything's so democratic and cool, but baby, there's no guidance when random rules. I know that a lot of what I say has been lifted off of men's room walls. So maybe I've crossed the wrong rivers and walked down all the wrong halls. But nothing can change the fact that we used to share a bed. And that's why it scared me so when you turned to me and said, yeah, you look like someone. Yeah, you look like someone who up and left me alone. Boy, you look like someone I used to know. Everything's so democratic and cool, but maybe there's no guidance when random rules. I asked a pen why the roads are colored black. He said, Steve, it's because people leave and no highway can bring them back. So if you don't want me, well, I promise not to linger. But before you go, I gotta ask you, dear, about the tan line on your ring finger. No one should have two lives. Now you know my middle name's wrong and right. Honey, we've got two lives to kill tonight. Woo! To kill tonight. To kill tonight. Oh, 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 oh.
Thank you so much, friends and family. Thank you so much. We are Platinum Gentiles. Right to my right, we have Jockey Gentile on the guitar. Then on the keys, we've got Buddy Gentile. On the cans, we've got Oily Gentile. On the axe, we've got Wow Gentile. And I am Fuzzy Gentile.
It's like a lot like Money Heist.
Get it, Danny? We all have a Money Heist bang.
No, Money Heist?
De Niro? Isn't that what it is?
No, it's Kelsey Grammer. And he's... No, it's not. That's a different movie. Money Plane. Fuck.
Yeah, Robbo Money Heist. Robbo, yeah. That's awesome. Robbo De Niro.
Robbo!
Imagine if I find out it's called Albo Pacino. That would be.
We're getting into deep, guys. Not me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How'd you turn a billion steers into buildings made of mirrors? And why am I drawn to you tonight? Well, once you taste the geometry of a church in a cul-de-sac, you're gonna wanna sit with the bad kids in the back. Whipped her with his belt buckle. We cleaned her cuts and then we prayed. Oh, Dallas, shine with an evil light. Don't you know that God stays up all night? How did you turn a billion steers into buildings made from mirrors? And why am I drawn to you tonight? Watching the makeup girls make out with the mannequins. Hey boys, something's on me.